for ukulele-chan. Hello and welcome to another Yotsuba manga breakdown. In this video, we will be breaking down more Japanese grammar and vocabulary in the manga Yotsuba. As you can see over here, I will be going through and explaining all of these grammar points, nouns, verbs, sound effects, and we will work through all of it together. So this is where we were last time. Usagi has just come back from vacation, and everyone is together enjoying some Okinawan music. When suddenly Fuuka gets a bright idea to add some of her own flair to our Okinawan music. So let's see what the response was for that. As you may have noticed, I've just copy and pasted all the notes and definitions down below me, so you can actually read along as I go through and explain everything. But of course, if anything there doesn't make sense, if you need any extra explanation, please ask even further down in the comments, and I'll do what I can to assist you. So, to start breaking this down, we have Fuuka here. Okinawa no kyoku ni wa ukulele mo aou kamo to omotte. She's so proud of herself. So, Okinawa is Okinawa. It's like an island in Japan. And then no is just linking that to kyoku, which means music or a tune. So this is like Okinawan music. And then niwa is in regards to or for. So speaking of Okinawan music, ukulele, which is what she has right here. And as you may notice, this ukulele is in katakana because it's a loan word from English, where the name of this instrument originates from. And as you might notice, this is a little bit more angular, this katakana, because we also have hiragana here, which is a bit more flowing, a bit softer, and of course the terrible kanji as well. So, as for our ukulele, mo is also, and ao is to suit or to match, and then kamo is I wonder or maybe, and this to is a quoting particle, and then omotte is the te form of omo. To make that omotte, you would take the u that would normally be here from our godan omo and changing it out to a tiny tsu and a te for omotte. And right here, she's pretty much just trailing off with that. Te has a lot of different uses. So this to omo is basically saying like I think, and it's something you can add on to pretty much any sentence to soften it a little bit. It's like I think this is a good idea versus just saying this is a good idea. So it's a nice way to make a lot of sentences a little bit more polite, as it's your thoughts, your ideas versus a fact. And this kamo is maybe or perhaps. So I think maybe the ukulele also suits Okinawan music. It's like, oh, I'll bust out my ukulele and get some tunes because it matches so well. It's so suitable. Though I don't think everyone else agrees here. Asagi's urusai, hitta, yamete. So urusai is noisy or annoying. Hita is like unskilled, just like you suck. And then yamete is the te form of yameru, which is to stop or to cease. And this te form, as I said before, many different uses. Here, just kind of trailing off. And here, it's being used as a command. So please stop, do stopping. And for that, this one is nice and easy. Yameru is an ichiran ru ending verb, so there would be a ru right here. But you just swap that with this te. So yameru becomes yamete. So they're just like, you're so annoying, you suck, please stop. It's like, oh no, dai fuhyo. Dai is big or great, and fuhyo is a bad reputation, disgrace, or unpopular. So it's like, oh no, my ukulele is super unpopular. You'll never get into the Oricon charts that way. Oh, she's cast it aside. Poor ukulele-chan. And here she's all, 音楽は音を楽しむのよ。So 音楽 is music, and she's making a play of the kanji that it's made of, which is oto, sound, and like tanoshi or tanoshimu, which means like fun or having fun. So ongaku, music, wa, as far as music goes, as for music. Oto, and this O is the direct object marker, so this verb, tanoshimu, is acting on the sound. So tanoshimu, like to play, to enjoy. It's acting on sound, so to enjoy sound. So it's like, oh, you're supposed to enjoy it. I was just enjoying it. And then no is just exclamation, like this is a fact. This is what music is. And then yo is emphasis, to emphasize her tears. But they don't care. They moved on. お姉ちゃん、温めたの、美味しいよ。It's been a thing for a couple of pages here where Asagi has some confectionaries that she brought back with her, but she hasn't been too happy with them, so she's tried heating them up in the microwave. Apparently that's worked, because this breaks down as お姉ちゃん, which is older sister. Ne is specifically older sister. O is an honorific, making it more polite. And then chan is a suffix for someone that's like super familiar, maybe lower for you, like a child, or this is a family member, so that's alright. And next we have atameta, which is the past form of atameru, which is to warm or to heat, so been heated up like in a microwave. And that is an ichidan ru, so there would be a ru here, but it's now ta, makes it past, so it just like was heated up. And this no is nominalizing it. It's making this verb into a generic noun, so like a thing that was heated up. They're talking about the confectionaries, but they're just saying a thing, and we have to remember about those confections. And then this oishi, it's tasty, and yo, emphasis. It's like, sister, the heated up ones are tasty, yeah. So moving on from Fuuka's musical faux pas, Mom suddenly remembers something. そうそう、お盆はおばあちゃん家行くからね。忘れてない？そうそう is like, oh yeah, I remember. So it just popped into her brain. Obon is a lantern festival. It's kind of like a week in Japan. They don't necessarily get it off as vacation, but it's a time they visit family or visit graves and stuff. And then wa, as for that, Oba-chan is grandma, and chi is a very familiar way to say house. So grandma's house, yay, iku, going, we're going to grandma's. And then kara is like because or since. And then ne is this request for confirmation or emphasis. So she's like, oh, I just remembered about Oban because we're going to grandma's house. She's gonna talk more about it later. And this wasurete nai is the negative form of wasureru, which is to forget. That is an ichidan do ending verb. So usually there would be a do right here, but it's first changed to te form with that do just switching to a te. And then for a more formal version, you would add on inai, but this is a little bit more casual, so it's just nai. There's no e, it's the only difference. So that is not doing, you're not forgetting. It's like, you're not forgetting, you still remember, right? That this is happening. Then poor defeated Fuuka, or makura, pillow, misery loves company. And mom goes on, chanto aketoki nasai yo. So chanto is properly, and this is a big thing, this aketoki nasai. This comes from the verb akeru, which would just be tiny up here, and it means a lot of things, but in this sense, we only care about how it means to leave your schedule open or to make time for something. So we first want to change that akeru to aketoku. So the do that would be here would be swapped out with a toku, so it would be aketoku, and that toku form means to do something, to prepare for something that might happen. It's casual of teoku, so that essentially means leave your schedule open in preparation for something happening, which is going to grandma's house. But then we're gonna change that again. We're not done yet. With that, our aketoku is technically a ku go-down verb at this point. So we want to change that to its nasai form. So for that, the ku that would be here changes to this ki. Its u-based ending changes to its e-based ending. And then you add on nasai. And then that nasai, it changes this into a firm but polite request. So please keep your calendar open in preparation of going to grandma's. And then yo is emphasis. Usagi's then just like, hi, it's fine, yes. Sanhiyai dake? For this, I first had to give out a big shout out to Wanikani's Yotsuba Reading Club because I would not have been able to figure out this puppy right here. This is apparently a writing shorthand for Ida, so it's slightly simpler than the actual kanji for Ida that you can see below me, so you can compare. This is how you would write it in handwriting, just to do it a little bit more easier. And that's definitely not going to come up in any dictionary. I had a very rough time trying to figure this out, so thank you so much. If anyone ever sees this from the Wanikani Reading Club, arigatou gozaimasu. And so to break down this part, this san, this 3 is just 3, and this hiai together is time or days, so 3 days. And then dake is used to express when you're trying to recall something, so it's like, oh, what was it? It was 3 days, right? I think that's what it was. So she's trying to remember how long they're going to grandma's. Next, Fuuka chimes in with her 田舎が沖縄だったらよかったのにな. So, 田舎 is rural area, the countryside. Ga makes that our subject. So about that rural area. I can't say rural. Rural. No, it's not happening. Okinawa is, again, Okinawa, a little nice island. And then dattara is if, or if that was the case. Yokata is like the past form of e or yoi, so it just means it was good. It's an interesting thing. Usually if you just say good on its own, you'll just say e, but if you ever want to conjugate good, you have to use yoi. And to break that down, the e from yoi that would be here, because it's an e adjective, that gets swapped out just simply with kata, which makes it past. So yoi becomes yokata. It was good. And then no ni, only, or despite. And then na, of course, emphasis. It's like, oh, it would be good if only it were the case of Okinawa and not this rural bit. Because you'd way rather go to Okinawa than the countryside. That might be nice, you never know. Ooh, she's struggling trying to get this pillow. Then there's ine. You see that example right away here with this good. When it's used by itself, it's e, and then again conjugated, it becomes yoi. So ine, ne here is that emphasis, request for confirmation. It's like, oh, that would be good, wouldn't it? I'd love to go to Okinawa. So it's not asagi, it's probably ina. And then, oh no, this dote. She's falling, she's tumbling, she has lost the match against the almighty pillow. Pillow number 1 forever. Next, Anna suddenly remembers, oh, Yotsuba-chan. That's a thing that exists. So for some reason, I think it's probably the rural bit that reminded her. So she's like, oh right, speaking of rural areas. Yotsuba-chan, ここに来る前はおばあちゃん家に行ってね. So, Yotsuba-chan, that is Yotsuba's name, our main character, who we haven't seen for a while. And then Koko is here. Ni indicates a direction, so to here. Kuru is to come, so coming here. Then mai is before, so before coming here is the topic of our sentence. And then oba-chan is granny or grandma. And then chi, again, a very familiar way to say house. And then ni, again, same location one, so at grandma's house. Then ite is a te form of iru, which means to be or to exist. So she like just existed at grandma's, that's where she was. For this, very simple, iru is ichiran, so there would be a ru here, but it's swapped out with this te. So iru becomes ite. And then ne is, again, emphasis or request for confirmation. Like, oh, that's what happened, right? That's what I remember. So, as for Yotsuba, before coming here, she lived at her grandma's. その前は島に行ったって言ってたよ。So, sono is that and mai is before. So before that is our topic. Shima is an island. And the ni is at, all the same ni. So at or on an island. Itta is this same iru again. It's just in its past form. So instead of changing that u to a te, it changes to a ta. So was there, was living on an island. This te is the casual quoting particle, which is matched up with our iteta, which is the te ita form of you, which means to say, and that is a godan u ending verb. There'd usually be an u here, but u are a little bit more tricky. Instead of just going to a te, it has to go to a tan or two in a te. That's just like a space. Instead of like ite, it's ite. It's a little space. That's it. And then here, this ta. For a more formal version, there would be ita here, but this casual version has no e here, it's just ta. So it's iteta, and that te ita form means that you were doing something. So our you would become you to ite to iteta, which is like was saying, is how that works. And then yo is more emphasis. So like she was saying, quotes, before that, she lived on an island. That's so interesting. It's like, that's interesting. Oh, but if we want to figure out more about Yotsuba's mysterious past, you'll have to subscribe and come watch the next one, because this is it for today's video. I hope that you enjoyed, learned something, hopefully, and had some fun. If you want to see more, please, do the subscribing, ring the bell, whatever suits you. Just come back here. I'd love to see you again. So hopefully I will see you next time. またね